Welcome to Whispers and Confessions. There might be a twist waiting, so please make sure to watch until the end. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's begin right away.
Her touch was gentle yet firm, drawing me fully into her pace. She pushed me onto the sofa and straddled me. Her dress slid up, revealing smooth, warm thighs. As she moved above me, her curves and soft skin brushed against my hands. I pulled her close, kissing her neck, and her soft moans filled the room, stoking my longing even further. "Jack, more, deeper," she whispered breathlessly, and I slid her dress off, exploring her body. Her skin was warm and soft, her curves feeling just right in my hands. Each time she trembled under my touch, I felt a thrill I hadn't experienced in years. At the age of 49, in the spring, my daily life felt quietly monotonous. I was the marketing department head, with a steady job, and my marriage with my wife, Emily, was approaching its 25th year. Our children had graduated from college and moved to the city to build their own lives, leaving us in our quiet suburban house in New Jersey. My name is Jack, and I had lived a steady life for most of my years. Every morning, I took the same train to Manhattan for work and returned home after my shift. On weekends, my routine consisted of mowing the backyard lawn or running errands at the nearby grocery store. I never thought this predictable life would change. It all began at a neighborhood community meeting. Noah, the new community president, was an energetic real estate developer in his mid-40s, full of enthusiasm. He was eager to bring neighbors closer together. "I want to make our community more lively," Noah said with a smile, but his proposal was far from an ordinary social gathering. He suggested hosting a special party exclusively for adults. At first, I thought it might be a casual wine night or a barbecue, but as Noah calmly explained further, the atmosphere shifted. "It's an opportunity for couples to explore their relationships more deeply," he said politely. What he was actually suggesting was a partner swapping event. The couples at the meeting were visibly shocked. Some stared in surprise, while others gave awkward laughs. Surprisingly, though, almost no one strongly objected. In fact, many showed curiosity, and the women's reactions were particularly noticeable. Sitting next to me, Emily, usually reserved, listened to Noah with keen interest. "What? Is she actually interested?" I muttered to myself, stealing a glance at her. Her faint smile made me uneasy. On the drive home, I hesitantly asked, "Emily, what do you think about that proposal?" She stared out the car window for a moment before responding. "Well, Jack, it might be fun to try," she said lightly but with conviction. "Our relationship is stable, but don't you think it could use a little spark?" Her words surprised me, and I gripped the steering wheel harder. Our 25-year marriage had been calm, but it was true that the passion had faded. "A spark," I mumbled to myself, chewing over her words. Her eyes held an unfamiliar spark. For the next few days, we discussed the topic seriously. "Are you really okay with this? With someone else?" I asked hesitantly. Emily smiled softly and replied, "Jack, our trust in each other won't change. It's just a new experience." What began as a playful conversation slowly turned serious. But deep down, I felt conflicted. The thought of Emily with another man made my stomach churn. A week later, an invitation arrived from Noah. The first party would be held the following Saturday at his luxurious mansion. Attendance was optional, but he asked us to reach out if we were interested. "Jack, I want to go," Emily said firmly, her eyes filled with resolve. I let out a sigh and nodded. "All right, let's go together." Feeling both nervous and curious, we headed to Noah's house on Saturday night. His mansion was lit up with a sprawling garden and bright lights, and several couples had already arrived. Noah and his wife, Olivia, welcomed us warmly. Olivia, in her early 40s, was an enchanting woman in an elegant dress. Her confident smile and striking gaze caught me off guard. "Welcome, Jack, Emily," she said, extending her hand. I shook it awkwardly, struck by the scent of her perfume. The living room was filled with familiar faces from the neighborhood. Ethan and his wife from next door, Ryan and his wife from across the street, people we usually exchanged casual greetings with. That night, everyone's faces showed a blend of nerves and excitement. I held Emily's hand tightly and whispered, "Is this really okay?" She squeezed my hand gently and replied, "Jack, don't worry too much. Let's just enjoy it." Her voice was soft, but it had a surprising confidence. The party began with Noah's opening remarks. At first, it felt like a typical cocktail party, filled with wine and laughter. But as the drinks flowed and the mood loosened, a game started, leading to conversations and touches that went beyond marital lines. Emily sat on a sofa, chatting animatedly with Ryan, a mid-40s fitness center owner whose muscular build and humor were enough to charm any woman. Watching them, I felt a pang of jealousy rising, but at the same time, Olivia approached me and struck up a conversation. "Jack, would you like more wine?" Her teasing look made me nod with an awkward smile. Olivia was an intelligent and alluring woman. Chatting with her was unexpectedly engaging. "Jack, I thought you were the quiet type, but you seem different tonight," she teased. I laughed and replied, "Well, Olivia, anyone would get talkative around someone like you." Her laughter filled the room, and before I knew it, we were lost in our own world. Then Noah gathered everyone and announced, "All right, let's get started for real. Spend time with the partner you choose. No pressure. Everything happens with mutual consent." The room went quiet for a moment, but the mood was already shifting that way. Seeing her hold his arm as they went upstairs made my chest tighten. Jealousy and anxiety swirled inside me. But then Olivia gently touched my hand and whispered, "Jack, shall we have some fun too?" Her smile was impossible to resist. We slipped into a quiet study, and as the door closed, the tension reached its peak. When was the last time I was alone with another woman? Olivia approached slowly and placed her hand on my shoulder. "Nervous, Jack?" Her voice was soft and sweet. I replied with a trembling voice, "A little, no, a lot." She laughed and brought her face closer to mine. "Then let me help you relax." When her lips met mine, everything else faded, and I was lost in the moment. Olivia's lips were soft and warm, and as her tongue brushed against mine, a shiver ran through my body. Her hand slid under my shirt, caressing my bare skin, and her bold touch took my breath away. "You're nervous, aren't you, Jack?" she whispered, her breath tickling my ear. I replied shakily, "Olivia, this is too intense." Her scent, a blend of soft rose perfume and her natural warmth, drew me in completely. Olivia unbuttoned my shirt one by one, her fingers tracing my chest. Each touch sent a thrill through me, and my heart raced. She kissed my neck, moving downward, her lips leaving a warm sensation across my chest and stomach. "Jack, it's been a while since you felt something this intense, hasn't it?" she whispered as she undid my belt. I ran my fingers through her hair and replied, "Yeah, Olivia, it's been so long. I'm dizzy." As she slid my pants down and touched my bare skin, I gasped. Her touch was gentle yet firm, drawing me fully into her pace. She pushed me onto the sofa and straddled me. Her dress slid up, revealing smooth, warm thighs. As she moved above me, her curves and soft skin brushed against my hands. I pulled her close, kissing her neck, and her soft moans filled the room, stoking my longing even further. "Jack, more, deeper," she whispered breathlessly, and I slid her dress off, exploring her body. Her skin was warm and soft, her curves feeling just right in my hands. Each time she trembled under my touch, I felt a thrill I hadn't experienced in years. Our kisses deepened, her tongue entwining with mine as I gripped her hips and pulled her closer. Her breathing quickened, and her hands roamed my body with increasing boldness. Olivia moved slowly, matching my rhythm, and the friction sent me reeling. "Jack, feel me, all of me," she moaned, and I held her waist, moving more intensely. Our bodies pressed together, our heat merging as one. Sweat beaded on our skin, and our breaths grew ragged. Her moans drew me deeper into a wave of pleasure. As she neared her climax, Her body began to tremble. Jack, she gasped, calling my name. I matched her rhythm, moving faster, and her nails dug into my back as her moans grew louder. Finally, she arched her body, lost in ecstasy. Her trembling, her hot breath, and the intensity of that moment overwhelmed me. I soon followed, a surge of intense pleasure washing over me. I held her tightly, savoring every second. Olivia, I whispered her name, breathless. She nestled into my arms, smiling. Jack, you'll never forget this feeling. In that moment, the youth and passion I'd long forgotten surged through me. The physical joy I'd lost in my long marriage awakened me completely. Guilt about Emily briefly surfaced, but I was consumed by Olivia's warm body, her intense kisses, and the ecstasy of that moment. Our bodies were slick with sweat, our breaths still heavy. I buried my face in her warm skin and whispered, Olivia, this is too much. She stroked my hair and replied, Jack, we'll feel this again. Her words made me smile, and I held her tighter. This long-lost pleasure stirred me deeply. The next morning, everyone gathered in the living room, looking strangely at ease. Emily returned to my side, smiling. Sleep well, Jack. Her voice was calm, but her eyes had a quiet spark. I smiled awkwardly and replied, Yeah, you? She nodded, but we didn't ask about each other's nights. Still, it was clear that the experience had breathed new life into our relationship. Noah announced the next party's date, and everyone responded enthusiastically. Back home, Emily and I sat down to talk. Jack, be honest. How was it? She asked seriously. I hesitated before answering. Honestly, it was shockingly intense. You. She smiled and said, Me too. The time I spent with Ryan. I'll never forget it. Sharing our experiences deepened our bond. This made our relationship stronger, Emily said, holding my hand. I nodded. Embracing this unconventional experience forged a new connection. We began attending the parties regularly, and as they continued, our relationships deepened. My connection with Olivia grew beyond physical attraction into something deeper. One day, she texted me, Jack, Noah's on a business trip. Want to meet just us? Meeting outside the parties was against the rules, but I couldn't resist. Sure, where? I replied, my hands shaking. We met at a quiet cafe and soon headed to her apartment. The moment the door closed, she kissed me and whispered, Jack, I can't live without you. Her warm breath and gentle touch drew me in again. Our bodies intertwined, craving each other, and her moans made my heart race. But even in that passion, guilt about Emily stabbed at me. Meanwhile, Emily and Ryan were meeting secretly too. Our four-way relationship had deepened beyond pleasure into emotional bonds. One day, Noah called us together. Jack, Emily, we need to talk seriously, he said, his face serious. We gathered at his house. Let's be honest. I'm drawn to Emily, Noah began. Olivia nodded and added, I feel something special for Jack. Emily and I looked at each other and confessed, I'm not just casually involved with Ryan. Emily said, her voice shaky but resolute. We discussed how to navigate these complex feelings. Noah suggested, what if we all lived together, swapping partners? It was a shocking but intriguing idea. However, our jobs, the neighbors' opinions, and our emotional readiness posed challenges. After days of discussion, we decided to maintain our current arrangement but acknowledge each other's relationships. Outwardly, we'd remain ordinary couples. Inwardly, we'd connect deeply with other partners. Our new lifestyle began. We regularly spent time as a group of four, sometimes swapping partners for dates or going on weekend trips together. To the neighbors, we were just close friends, but in reality, we were a complex network of love. Jealousy and anxiety were still there. Seeing Emily laugh with Ryan stung, but we worked through it. Jack, you okay? Emily asked, reading my expression. I smiled and said, Yeah, just adjusting. We overcame these feelings by sharing them openly. We also became active in community events, volunteering at charity bazaars and park cleanups, making a good impression on our neighbors. Noah's parties continued, with more participants joining. Then rumors started to circulate. Someone had noticed our relationships, and gossip spread. What do we do? Emily asked worriedly. Noah replied firmly, we act natural. No need to explain. After an emergency meeting, we decided to behave as usual rather than confront the rumors. Surprisingly, the gossip faded. People got caught up in their hectic lives and even praised our active community involvement. At the summer festival, we ran a food truck together, laughing and supporting each other. As we watched the fireworks, Olivia took my hand. Jack, I wish this moment could last forever. I squeezed her hand and whispered, me too, Olivia. Over time, our relationships matured. The initial intense passion grew into deep trust. We spent weekends barbecuing or traveling to the beach, feeling like a close-knit group. Noah, Olivia, Ryan, and his wife Sophia had no children, and Sophia's kids were independent, so our group became a new kind of family. At year-end, we planned our first New Year's party. This year was truly special, Emily said, raising a champagne glass. We looked back on the year and made plans for the next. Where's this relationship headed? I asked. Noah laughed and said, wherever it leads, as long as we're together. As the new year began, our bond deepened. Conflicts arose occasionally, but we embraced them as part of growth. What started as a pursuit of pleasure became a true partnership. By spring, I became the vice president of the community group, and Emily and Olivia led the women's committee. Our role in the community grew, and giving back felt fulfilling. On the one-year anniversary of our relationship, we held a small party. How was this year? I asked. Emily smiled and said, Jack, I wouldn't have this happiness without you. Olivia nodded. The four of us are special, aren't we? We found true happiness in this relationship that transcended societal norms. I don't know if this path is right, but finding this connection at 49 feels like a rare gift. My love for Emily remains unwavering, but my feelings for Olivia are precious too. Despite the tangled feelings, I want to protect this relationship. One evening, over beers with Noah, he said, Jack, people chase superficial happiness and miss the real thing. I nodded. My time with Olivia was more than physical. It was a spiritual connection. Her gentle touch and passionate kisses stirred something deep in me. Emily, too, was discovering a new self with Ryan. Isn't this true partnership? I asked. Emily smiled and said, yes, Jack. It's a relationship that sets us free. Our community involvement earned us respect. Perhaps our sincerity, despite our secrets, shone through. As seasons changed, our relationships deepened. We volunteered at a senior center, thinking about the future. If we can be together like this in old age, Olivia said. I held her hand and replied, that would be more than enough happiness. This relationship became a comfort, soothing worries about growing older. Life is unpredictable. Yesterday's norms can become today's controversies. What matters is living true to your heart. This relationship, stumbled upon by chance, is now a treasure in our lives. The happiness we found outside society's rules is right here. Tomorrow, the four of us will walk forward together. Top Jungjunde.